Okay, here we go. Quick tire change video. I'm going to practice tomorrow night, and I've got a good, still raceable front tire on that I'm trying to save. It's the Dunlop MX3S, which they're discontinued. I found some on one of the websites and grabbed a couple while they still had a few, and I want to save it back for race days. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it off, and I'm going to put an MX53 on. The 53 is still current. It's a medium to firm, which I don't usually prefer to race on a medium to firm, but for practice they're great because you get a lot of good practice days out of them before they're worn, before they're done. So we're going to go over tire change technique right fast. We're going to do this kind of what I kind of call the old school way, where we put half the tire on, put the tube in it, and put the other half on. I don't usually do it this way, but I wanted to cover it for everybody to show a couple tips and tricks that I know this way. I think the current method these days is to put the tube in it and change it with the tube in it. Alright? That's the most current method, which I'll do videos for that too. But for this video, I guess I would call it old school way. So I'm going to go 2 spokes on both sides of the bead lock. Bead lock's right here, 2 spokes. When I pull mine over, I'm going to push down right here and get it in the drop center. Fronts are pretty easy, they're not hard at all. So even though this one's already out, I'm still going to push down right here, grab that one over, and at that point, they stay. Alright, the tube will stay there. I don't want to pull too hard and scratch my black rim, so I'll just leave that one there. 2 more. 2 more. I'm being extra careful. These are pretty expensive rims. I don't want to mess them up. But take your time. There's really no rush. I'm just trying to keep the video time minimal, right? Try to keep it to below 15 minutes. Okay, so I just flipped it over. I got the bead lock at 12 o'clock away from me, which would be 6 o'clock to y'all, but 12 to me. And again, I'm going to bump, kind of push it a little bit that way. 2 spoons, 2 spokes away from the bead lock, and then they stay there. Okay. Run on around it. Okay. Then I'm just going to push, right? Wiggle a little bit. There you go. That's it for taking it off. Okay. MX3S, great front tire. A lot of good feedback. You know, as you're initiating a turn, it really steers like the way that I picture a tire should steer. Little input, gets you a little bit of feedback. I like that. So, doing it the other way, that I don't normally do it, you're going to take your tube out, you're going to fold it over like a taco. The stem is going to be right at the corner of the taco. Then you're going to roll the tube up like a cinnamon bun. Get all that air out of it, right? Get all that air out. Or as much as feasible. You don't have to get too exact about it. You're just essentially trying to make it nice and thin for when you tuck it into the tire halfway through the install. Alright? And then put your valve core back in. Snug it up. $3 O'Reilly valve core remover. They work great. See there, nice and thin. I'm going to set that down. I'm going to throw a little bit of baby powder on it. That helps slip it in there. So I'll be out of shot here for just a second. No big deal. Run that around. Flip it over. Spill it all over your garage floor. No big deal. Make your garage smell nice. Okay, now that's ready for install. Set that out of the way. Here's the 53. It's a directional tire too. So with the rotor down, the arrow at 12 o'clock should be going to the right. I've just been doing it long enough to know that. And so let me get my product out here. Alright, so here we are. Got the product, it's got the dauber in it. It's on there the wrong way right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over where the arrow is this way. Right? And I'm going to lube this side, then when I flip it over it'll be right. Okay, so here's how I like to do it. Stick the dauber right there. Get you a nice little deal going like that. Easy peasy. Just like that. Now I'm going to start at the bead lock, putting it on like this one. Okay, push your bead lock in, tuck your tire up under it, go over that right there like that. Take your time. Small bites are always easier than big bites. Right, there it goes. Okay, now why we folded that tire is going to come into play. We're going to take it, we're going to find the valve stem hole. Which is right there. We're going to tuck it in first, right? Lift that up. Tuck that in. Right there. And then just work it around. Piece of cake, wavy gravy. Okay. Do all of that. You want it to kind of get down underneath the rim lip and it'll stay down for you. So you're going to have to go around it. Take your time. Get it in there on top of the bead lock too. You'll feel the fingers up in there. No problem. Okay, now here's the cool little trick that I got for you. Bead lock, bead buddy, I'm sorry, not bead lock. Your bead buddy right here normally holds the tire down. Right, you're going through the install process and you put it on here this way. But right now is a cool time to use the tool again, turn it around the other way. Put it up on the tire like that. And then that helps you hold that tire up and you don't beat your fingers up so bad putting your valve stem in. Right? Well, I've got the rim strap in the way. I'm going to have to look at the rim strap right fast and figure out how it got in the way. Which way it needs to go to get out of the way. Okay. There, it's not really in the way too much. It just slid over, no big deal. Slid over and covered the hole up a little bit. That's not a big deal. Okay. Let's try that again. So again, take that around the opposite way. Hook it on the tire. Pick up on it like that. There. Now that that rim strap's out of the way, fixes that problem. Okay. Dust off the tire. Guys, I do this trackside support right here. You get this stuff right here, man. People give you $20 to do this all day long. They're happy as can be if they don't want to do it. right? Some people just don't want to learn it, and that's okay. That's cool, man. It's not for everybody. But for us that can do it, right, it's a good way to be at the track where we love to be and offset our costs for being there, right? If you've already got the stand, you've already got the tire irons, you've already got a basic novice level understanding of how to change a tire, you grab a can of this paste, right? That small can right there does 50 tires. Man, at 20 bucks a pop, that's $1,000 worth of opportunity, right? I sell an 8 ounce, that's 100 changes. $2,000 worth of opportunity. So I got the valve stem here, the bead lock here. I'm going to start just next to the bead lock, work around, make it the last thing I tuck in. I like doing it that way. You don't have to do it that way. But in my mind, it's easier not to have it mess up the process of putting it in. You know what I mean? There's nothing in my drop center right now. The bead lock's not there. And I'm going about 4 spokes every bite right now. And as it gets tighter over here at the last bit, I'll go back down to my 2 spokes. Alright? No big deal. So here we are, we're at about the last 2 bites. Nice and gentle. Okay. Now here's the cool thing. The paste cuts the friction enough. We'll get that out of there. There's a good chance I can just push that in right there. Now this is front. Rears, you may not be able to do that. But the friction is so cut, it's so easy to slide on. It works really good. So now I'm going to put my nut on. Like I say, this isn't the normal way I do it. I usually put the tire and the tube together first and slap it all on at once. Not a big deal though. A lot of people like to do it that way. And that's probably the way that I did it first back when I was 17 years old, almost a long time ago. Okay, I keep a Ryobi battery operated air pump, works like a champ. Super easy. It's going to take an extra second the way we did this one because the tube was so flat. So it's going to take just a second. Okay, since I'm not riding until tomorrow, I'm not even going to bleed it down. Okay? I'm going to leave it up. You look for a uniform bead all the way around. Pick a line on the tire. Make sure it looks uniform all the way around. And it's up. It's good. It's cool. All the way around. I can see it. Clean the excess off. The dust, the paste, the whole 9 yards. And just for the fun of it, let's see how many pounds of pressure it took to seat that right there. I'm going to guess 20 or less. I usually see about 17 pounds is all it takes because there's no friction against it. Yeah. That one took about 13 pounds. Piece of cake. 13 pounds pushed it out. Now, it's going to dry, and it's going to dry slightly tacky. If you saw when I first started the video, as I pushed down on it, you could hear it unseat from that rim, which is a good benefit, right? You want it to stay put after it's seated. And then rim lock. I'm sure there's a spec for it, but I just give it the old good shot there where it feels good. I don't feel like I'm overdoing it. And then valve cap and put it back on the bike. So I'll make another video here shortly. I don't know how long that took either. I don't feel like it took very long. And I really wasn't 100% organized in that one. Okay, thanks.